What is up, everybody? And we are back. We're back at the truck that's been stuck in the river since Helvetia and Five Knot. Yeah, it's still here. But no fancy intro today. Wait, hey, what's going on? What are you doing? You're confusing me. Well, I'm going to show you my build. See this little quick, rapid camera movement, stuff like that? So pay attention to all the decor and stuff that I have in here. Okay. So that is how some people film. Okay. And I'm not knocking it. All right. We're not looking for um, Spielberg quality cinematics or anything. Okay. Editing is not the most important part, but filming really is. Okay. And I wanted to, take a minute to give you guys some pointers. So when you go into your camera mode, go under camera speed, turn that slider all the way to the left. We want to slow it down, and you can see how much different it is from me walking around first person as opposed to being in free cam like this. And with that camera speed slowed down, you have much, much better control. Now, I am a controller player. Keyboard and mouse is terrible for filming on, okay? It's not conducive to it. Navigating through a 3D world with a controller is a much, much better thing. You have very much more control over your character, camera movements, etc. Now, first person shooter, no, you're not going to beat mouse and keyboard, but that's a whole nother situation. Practice just going left, okay? I'm just going left here, nice, smooth, fluid moment or movement. You don't have to have these complex camera movements. The main thing is that by slowing down and just panning like this, we actually get to see the detail in the work. And that's the important part. It's if people can't see your camp because of rapid camera movements or anything like that, then, well, it's hard to show your stuff if they can't see what they're looking at. So practice just left, right, pan in, pan out. Once you get more comfortable, then you start using the other joystick, okay? You can add your right joystick and add spinning camera movements like this. But this stuff takes practice and everything. It doesn't happen overnight. But, I figured I'd take this episode and give you guys a couple of pointers here and there, and hopefully it'll help you be better at showing what you've created. Check out this build from ND. Wow. Unfrickin' believable. The amount of thought that went into this is just astronomical. So ND figures that, hey, this is a wasteland. Maybe we need a hovercraft, Let's make a hovercraft. And it is so well thought out. It's unbelievable. So obviously, this originally started off as a boat, which is a good thing because on a hovercraft, you need some sort of hull or structure for the vehicle. Now, what a lot of you may not know is how a hovercraft actually works. If you've ever noticed on a hovercraft, they have they're called curtains, okay? And it normally is some sort of rubberized flap that goes around the bottom of it. And that's what contains that cushion of air that the hovercraft rides on, okay? He's thought out that, yeah, I'm going to need skirts for this thing. And he's used roof sections to accomplish that. This is just the amount of thought that went behind this. He's got the fans over here that look like a turbine that's pumping air into that curtain that's keeping this entire thing floating. He has pontoons on the side of it for extra stability. Or that may be a portion of that curtain. But this is just very, very well thought out. I mean, from an engineering standpoint. And it looks legit. It looks like this could actually be a hovercraft out there in the wasteland. Unbelievable. This one, from an engineering standpoint, actually, I was impressed. I was impressed. That's not easy to do. I've worked with some of the top engineers on this planet, and most of them are mildly retarded. So, good job. Good job, man. This is crazy. The amount of trial and error. I can only imagine. Because you guarantee he put 300 things on there and said, I don't like the way that looks. I'm gonna change that out for this, or I'm gonna do it this other way. This is beautifully done. Exceptional job, sir. Look at this cabin with all the gauges and everything. I mean, it is super convincing that this is real. So let's check out what LD50 brought to the table this week. Now, this isn't some crazy concept or futuristic thing. No, no, no. This is just a simple build. Right. Yeah, no, there's nothing simple about this. Let's get into this because this is a very, very highly detailed. This is probably my favorite by LD50. I really think that it is at this point. And LD, I mean, they've done some cool stuff already, but I do think that this is my favorite. Love the vending area. This looks really nice. I like how you have the Sentomatic out there because I am certain that every person in the wasteland needs that. This is one of my favorite things about, you know, camps. I love coming across a good workshop. The entranceway here looks great. Love how it's decorated. Love the little kitchenette in here. It looks user friendly and it looks legit. I mean, you've got your possum over there roasting on the spit and turning, and cool little sleeping area. I like that. And it's the detail stuff, like suitcases under the bed. That little the fishing lure display. That looks really, really good over there. Got a nice sitting area, a writing desk. I'm loving this. It is cluttered up quite a bit, but not so much where you're like, oh yeah, this is a scrappy build. No, this is just somebody who's been collecting stuff throughout time. Really, really cool. I like that you've added that ramp to get up to that top level where they're storing stuff. It's a nice addition. And imagine this scene without that ramp. Just take away the ramp. That one thing really, really makes a difference in some of your scenes, you guys. It can literally boil down to one thing, making or breaking the scene. This is adorable, though. I love it. Highly, highly detailed. And as we're going through it, I mean, I've watched this several times now. Obviously, it's in my editor, and I've been looking around for floating objects, quality issues, stuff like that. And it's just extremely well done. But the layout and the design, that's what got me. Especially this little loft above the bed area. If you take that out, this room does not look the same. So, excellent job. Love it. Baker Boy 76. Now, this man's pulling at my heartstrings on this one because I have spent the majority of my life in industrial places, okay? Whether it was a steel mill, automotive manufacturing, refineries, power plants, it's steel foundries, it does not matter. I have been in all of them. This looks legit. It really does. I mean, there's so many places that, make chemicals like bleach or like Unilever. They make a ton of soap for your everyday needs and stuff like that. And there are a lot of tanks, stuff like that you're going to see in these chemical refining places that it's part of their process on how they manufacture things. And this is really, really well thought out. Look at all the industrial piping that are connecting these different vats together. That would be something that is very, very common to see out there in the industrial world. It's very, very convincing. I'm digging it. Even the things that they've added to the sides of the silos for realism to give it a different shape, really, really good. And in these industrial places like this, you're going to have little things like this where you have a little outbuilding and there's going to be some tools or they'll have some chemical storage in there that they're going to be adding to their stuff for the ingredients. And clearly this has been repurposed, but it's just an overall very, very convincing scene. This is not uncommon from something that you would see out there. And that main silo, look at the detail in that, the entire top of that. I mean, there's industrial pipes in there. It Everything has been changed or altered in some sort of way to give it a different appearance. And I love that. The addition of all the extra piping, stuff like that. That's what you need to do to be successful in this game. I mean, we do have a lot of building objects in this game, don't get me wrong. But there's a lot of times that we don't have stuff like this, so you have to get creative and then figure out, okay, I'm going to put some industrial piping in here to make it look more realistic. Are the places that I'm putting this stuff actually making sense, This is really, really good done.
Yeah, I mean, when you showed me up, you put some of the stuffing in the wrong places, so I'm a little fucked up. But will you take care of me forever and ever?
This looks like a miniature refining facility for some sort of chemicals. Sorry about my phone right there. That should be on mute. But this is a beautiful job, Baker. You did a fantastic job. Really, really impressed with this. This next one was submitted by the Atomic Punk 24, and hopefully this is not the last time that we see a build come out of them. They are going to be taking a break from 76 for a little while, and man, I have heard that literally hundreds of times. So hopefully they end up coming back, but yeah, I don't know. We're losing camp builders left and right, guys. It's not been good. But I really do. I hope that you do end up coming back to the game because it's gorgeous. This is gorgeous. This is probably my favorite raidery boat style theme. And the story behind this, according to Atomic Punk, is that these raiders they go up and down the river, they're drilling, collecting stuff, and then they bring those goods and wares back to sell. So it's a cool concept, a cool story, and it's a really cool build. You did a really good job. I like it. And we'll end up seeing, what happens. But hopefully this is just a small break. I mean, we all take breaks and stuff like that. Well, you guys do. I don't get to take a break. But, hopefully they do end up coming back. We've lost so many. This is beautifully done, though. I love the structure on the boat and everything. They've got the Scorpion agitator. That's that simulated drilling rig that they've got. It's really cool. I love the concept and the story behind it. Nice little sleeping quarters for the crew. This would be a place that you wouldn't mind actually, being out there and working on the river. Looks like they got some nighttime entertainment there with some cards and a handful of beer. Very cool. I like this. I really do. And it's a relatively simple idea, and it's just the execution's good. And that's the important thing, you guys. You don't have to have the craziest idea out there for it to be an awesome build or something. You just have to do a good job at it. And a lot of that is trial and error. I mean, if you think, like this scene right here, if you think that they just threw everything in there and it was perfect the first time, you're absolutely insane. Absolutely not. That is not how it happened. They were moving stuff around, and it's a trial and error to find something that's aesthetically pleasing. So just don't give up. You got to keep just trying different things until you get the look. This is awesome. And due to time constraints, we don't get to show all the entries that get submitted. So that's what those 3 minute inspirations are for. I've been trying to get some of them out here and there. It is springtime, and that means that I've got a lot of yard work. So keep that in mind. But Coffee, thank you for that entry. Flotten did an amazing job on this open air one. Yeah, you guys, it's summertime. I'm gonna have to back off the YouTube just slightly, okay? Trust me, I'm not stopping. But I've got yard work to do, and I got to do that stuff on the weekends. So it's really, really gonna, it's killing me, man. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And Slog the Frog, I appreciate what you've been doing here lately. The immersive builds that you've been getting into, you've been creating some scenes that are extremely realistic, like this. You've got that destroyed ambulance with the smoke and fire. This is very well done. Up next, we have the Akiras. And I left a comment on their YouTube about this saying that it kind of reminded me of like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Like a Jules Verne kind of vibe. And, I have to say that I was wrong about the description. And I knew that at the time. I was trying to figure it out. But it reminds me kind of like a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy sort of thing, where you'd see this crazy, insane ship. I love airships, and I love this design. But this is what you get when you end up with just item stacking. Where you're just stacking item on top of item just to create different shapes and different patterns, different textures. It's really, really cool. The challenge is when you get to the interior, when you do item stacking and stuff like that, the interior space is all clogged up with crap and everything, and normally it's pretty useless. So if you want an area like this where you can actually go in there and see all those beautiful plants that they had, and how well this desk is laid out, how good that clock looks like that in the wall, to be able to have an area like this, you got to be really mindful when you're doing that, especially when you're just item stacking like that. Very, very well done. And, the Akiras, they have been doing a series where they've been making all kinds of different food objects out of random things. So you might want to check that out if you're a foodie. They're really well done. They're cool. But yeah, this is just very well done. I like how that looks like a can opener, or you're sealing a can. It kind of looks like it's clamping the top of it. Very cool. Unbelievable job, Akiras. You guys never cease to amaze people. And again, you guys, it's trial and error. Especially when you get into item stacking like that, where you're just mashing everything together to create a new texture. Try different things. This stuff doesn't happen just in one go. It's that trial and error process. You mush some things together and you say, oh, that looks terrible. So you don't do that again. You go find another object that may work better, and you just keep trying it until you get the look that you want. And this is what happens when you do. It's a lot of patience, and it's tedious. That's the big difference between a decent builder and a great builder. Just sticking to it. Well, I appreciate the heck out of y'all participating and, hanging out, enjoying the stuff with us. But keep practicing this, okay? Go into your camera mode, turn that camera speed down. Just pan left, pan to your right, pan forward, reverse. Keep your shots simple and nice, smooth, fluid movements. And trust me, it's going to be a way better experience for anybody trying to view your content, I promise. And once you get some practice in, stuff like that, you'll be able to do more complex movements like this. It takes practice, that's all. And, I wanted to point this out that, it's real simple things like this because it does get intimidating if you don't know what you're doing or you haven't done it before. You just don't have the experience. So don't let it bother you. Play around with it, practice, have some fun. I love you guys. Get your submissions in. Let's see some of these gardens and stuff that y'all got going for spring. I want to see some of that. I love you. I'll see you in the next one.